Party time?
Yeah, man. Time to be awesome.
You ready for this? I'm ready for this. This DVD is like one of my workshops, only just in case you missed something first time around, you can watch it over and over again. And you don't have to take notes. How cool is that?
Way cool! Hell yeah!
Technology!
A lot of people in the industry want to become a photographer. The problem is they're not making it happen. If you want to become a photographer, stop sitting at home thinking of different ways to do it. Get out there, make it happen, and start doing it right now.
Colin, I don't understand why you're watching this DVD. I've been telling you all along to just go out and snap
Mom,
some
I'm
pictures.
trying to do it!
But you're sitting in my...
This DVD is broken into 3 different sections. The first is a full tutorial on everything leading up to and the prep of a photo shoot. After you get a grasp on all the prep work that goes into a photo shoot, I'm going to take you behind the scenes on a recent A Day to Remember photo shoot I did, so you can see firsthand everything that I put into a shoot, everything that they put into a shoot, and everything that goes on in real life situations. And the third section will finish off the tutorial with a step-by-step walkthrough of my editing process. I even provided you with the original image so you can follow along with me. Keep in mind, everything on this DVD is more of a guideline rather than a rule. It is all based off of my first-hand experiences, and although it may not work for everyone, at least you can take my knowledge and use it as a tool. Like a friend once told me, if it makes sense, do it.
Well, hey Adam,
Yeah?
something makes sense. Do it.
I always go by that saying because I feel like if something makes sense to me, it's gonna make sense to someone else. And I'm a professional photographer by definition, but I still have a lot to learn, and I've learned a lot along the way already. One thing that I've learned is that in photography, there doesn't have to be a right way or a wrong way. There just has to be a way. This world isn't all black and white. It's a full spectrum of colors.
Whoa. Did you see what he did right there? Photography reference. This guy's deep.
I don't know, man. It seemed a little too We Are the World to me.
And lastly, you can give this DVD to your best friend. You can even burn it for your mom. I do not care. However, please do not put this DVD online, not even a screenshot.
Dude, are you sure you should be doing that?
Dude, this guy's never gonna find out. Besides, I'm gonna get so many hits on YouTube, man. So many hits. Wonder who that is.
Oh! Mr. Elmakias don't like nobody playing on the internet.
Well, if you want to be a photographer, you have to have a subject to photograph. And the best way to get a subject to photograph is to get a client. Best way to get a client? Networking. Networking is a pretty basic concept, really. The more people you know, the more people are going to know you, and that increases your chances of getting a client. Basic logic. So what are some ways of increasing your chances?
Dude, easy. I'll just go on a band member's personal Facebook page, message him every couple of hours.
Yeah, and Twitter.
Yeah, man, there's Tumblr and MySpace and Friendster and Foursquare. You can find out when they're at Denny's and yeah.
And by networking, I mean real networking. Not just social networking and e-stalking. That just annoys everyone.
Awkward.
First, be present. That means make yourself part of the local music scene. Shoot local shows, concerts, and music festivals. Try to get to know the promoters, bartenders, and even the security guards. You know, you want to get to know everyone on the business side of the show. Make yourself memorable. If you have already networked your local area to death, maybe go out on a limb and grab a plane ticket to a music-saturated event, such as South by Southwest or CMJ. There will be a lot of bands there and a lot of industry people, and it's a good opportunity to really make yourself known. Second, be available. Let's say you get an email to do a photo shoot on Friday, but you're also scheduled to work your office job on that Friday. It's probably a good idea to skip your 9 to 5.
You want to do what on Friday?
Well, it would be a good opportunity for my photography.
You know what Fridays are like here at Hostess Distribution? We got new snowball coming out. It's orange.
I just need one day off.
You ever seen an orange snowball? No. And guess what? none of the kids are gonna get one either if your ass isn't here on Friday to drive the damn forklift.
Well, it's just one day out of the week, and it's really important to me.
Listen here, man, we're talking about priorities.
Well, you know my real passion's photography, and it'll be really good for my portfolio.
I didn't get to the top of the damn hostess corporate ladder by missing Fridays. You want to go take photos? Fine. Be artsy-fartsy on your own time. But Fridays, your ass belongs to me. Snowballs are money, and I want my damn snowballs.
Okay, I'll just go cry on the inside.
Look, I think you get the point. If you want to be a professional photographer, free up your schedule and make it happen. The last thing you want to do is miss out on a shoot opportunity because of some previous obligation or some day job you have to go to.
How much time do you think he wants us to clear up?
I hope not a lot. My drawer's about to be level 80.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know.
Like any job, when you start out, you're gonna have to take a lot of flack.
Oh, hey, yeah, it's me. So what's taking you guys? Oh, you went to Cece's, the pizza buffet. Yeah. Oh, no, that's cool. I mean, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I've been here since like 8 this morning, so we're all set up. We'll be ready to go as soon as you get here. Whenever you get here.
Say you have an hour-long shoot with the band at noon. Go ahead and free up your whole day, because they're probably not even gonna get there until 2.
Right this way. Right here. Just keep. How's it going, dude? Now you gotta straighten up, and then you look this way, and you kind of get in there a little bit more.
But when you finish shooting, they might invite you to their show that night, which is probably crawling with potential clients. In addition, you might be able to improve your relationship with that band as well.
You should go to the show tonight, dude.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm down. Let's go. All right, yeah, for sure.
It's all part of networking. There's a lot of different ways to communicate with people, but I've found that emails work best. They're the least invasive and most people prefer it. Who should you email? I'll tell you. The best place to start is usually the band's manager. They more or less control what the band does. You could also hit up their label, as they are in charge of the funding for most of the band's photo shoots. Their publicist is a great option as well. However, the last thing you want to do is hit up the band. Bands pay management to take care of this kind of junk for them, so they can keep their mind focused on the fun stuff. If the band is small and they don't have anyone working for them, this may be your only option. But try to avoid cold introductions. Maybe have a mutual friend introduce you guys, and then go from there. All right, time for a pop quiz. Ready for this? Probably not, but go ahead and grab a pen and paper or open up a blank document on your computer.
What? Tests? You didn't say anything about no tests. Not in school.
Dude, you're not in school because you couldn't pass 9th grade math. Give me your computer.
Tests and scantrons and...
Okay, ready? I need you to write an email for me. The goal of this email is to write a band's manager and request a photo shoot with their band at a show. Here's all the information you will need. The manager's name is Jack Appleseed. The band's name is the Gargoyles. The show is at Soma in San Diego on December 12th, 2011. You have 3 minutes and your time starts now. All right, time's up. Here's what I came up with. Jack, Adam Elmakias here. I don't believe we have ever had the pleasure of meeting. I'm a photographer based out of San Diego, California, and I'm reaching out regarding the gargoyles. I have them at Soma in San Diego on December 12th, and I was wondering if I could snag them for a few minutes and take some quick shots. These would be press images, and I would shoot them on spec. Hopefully all is well on your end. Let me know what you think. Best, Adam. See, that only took me under a minute.
Man, already? He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Keep it short, keep it simple, and keep in mind that most of these managers and labels are getting over 100 emails a day. They don't have time to read your life story, and nor do they care. Hopefully, if you respect their time, they'll return the favor by writing you an email back.
Dear Mr. Appleseed, thank you so much for reading my email. It means the world to me that you're reading this right now. I am a very passionate person in everything that I do, but my biggest passion in the world is capturing the world on a lens. You guessed it, photography. Ever since I was a little boy, I've been fascinated with the duality of light and dark that exists in nature, and expressing that on film. Everyone is half shadow and half light, and I feel like I can bring that out in my photography and really express my true creativity.
Jeez, kid, get a life. Learn about butterflies in my own time.
Again, respect their time. Monday mornings are packed with a lot of emails that need answering right away, and a lot of spam as well. If you send them an email on Monday, it'll probably get lost in the pile. It's usually a good idea to send out emails on Monday nights, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Fridays are alright, but they're not the best. I would refrain from sending them out on weekends because that's personal time. That being said, make sure you stay professional, but at the same time, stay real. Sort of like I am to you right now. You're human, they're human, so treat them like one and act like one as well. No need to get all robotic and start treating them weird and stuff. Just stay natural, do what makes sense, and keep it real.
Dear Mr. Appleseed, it is with great honor I email you right now. I write to you to respectfully ask permission to politely arrange a meeting with the professional recording artist, the Gargoyles. In this meeting, I wish to capture digital images with my Canon 5D Mark II, fitted with a Canon L-Series 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8 lens. Sincerely,
Come on, kid. All right, somebody's dad didn't play catch with him.
If you get turned down, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. But the last thing you want to do is try to persuade them otherwise. After all, you just met this new client and you don't want to make yourself seem desperate. You want to leave a good impression, so hopefully in the future, they'll want to work with you or at least try to work with you again.
okay, Mr. Appleseed, hi. I'm writing you now for the 5th time in 2 days, so I know you must have gotten this before, but I was just writing you to see what's going on about me shooting the photos for the gargoyles. You can trust me. I mean, I still want to do it, even though you've been ignoring me. I'm totally down. I'm their biggest fan, and I know everything they want to do, and I've got Photoshop, and I'm so good with a camera. I can do whatever you want me to, and just let me know. So write me back. I'll be waiting.
Again? Come on, Samantha, how do you block an email address on Gmail? You were supposed to set it up. You were supposed... What's that
Remember, everyone knows everyone, so you always need to be positive and nice. After you meet someone, maybe send a follow-up email, something along the lines of, "It was nice to meet you, I hope we can work together again." It's also a good idea to keep note of what you did with them, where you went, how you hung out, and what you were up to. That way, next time you hang out with them, you can reference that back. I keep notes at the bottom of each of my address cards that say how I met someone. For example, I met John at a show in Milwaukee on June 15th, 2009. He gave me a free t-shirt. Something simple so that the next time you have to email them, you can look back on it and refer to the last time you hung out.
Oh, post-it notes. That's a good idea. I can get you some. I'm on my way to the store.
Mom, he doesn't mean post-it notes. He means notes on a computer.
Your mom doesn't understand technology.
Alright, so now that I've told you what works for me, let's prove it with an example. Let's go back to 2007 when I had never met or worked with a data member before. I didn't know any of their management, I didn't know the band members, but I did know Gage Young, a fellow photographer and a friend from Florida, and he was friends with their drummer, Alex. I hit up Gage for Alex's information and asked him to tell Alex that I would be reaching out. I hit up Alex a week before to arrange the shoot, and he said it was a go. We decided to do the shoot after the show was over outside. I went outside with the guys and shot around, but it was too cold and it was no good. We went back to the venue and asked if we could shoot inside, and the venue owner said sure. We shot inside at a back area for about 10 minutes and then called it a night. I thanked the guys and was on my way. I followed up the shoot by emailing their label afterwards and sent them some samples of the images. They liked the shots and requested high-res images for some ads, so I sent them to them. Looking back, this was a mistake if I wanted to make some money. But at the time, I was just stoked my images were getting put to use. Heck, I was stoked the label was speaking with me. Within a few weeks, my images were everywhere. Website, MySpace, magazines, catalogs, and even Walmart. So like I said, I didn't get any money out of that shoot, but I did gain a good amount of publicity, and I still have that client today.
Man, that is cool.
Yeah, you know you made it when you got your pictures at Walmart.
Another important reason to keep track of your contacts is because sometimes people switch up jobs. For example, managers get fired and get new bands. Tour managers get recycled and, work for other people as well. And band members sometimes quit, rejoin their band or start side projects or join other bands. Kevin Scaff, who is now an Adater member, used to be in the band Four Letter Lie. Four Letter Lie was one of the first bands I ever toured with, and so me and him go way back. As bands grow and eventually disband, the band members usually take a more permanent job within the music industry. For example, Brett, owner of Epitaph Records, is also in Bad Religion. Also, keep in mind, everyone really does know everyone. This industry is a lot tighter than you think, so don't go name-dropping people you really don't know.
Man, you should really chill out with that Rob Zombie's my uncle thing.
Dude, like you're some sort of expert now.
Your last name's not even Zombie.
Psh.
Another thing you always need to remember is that you are never, ever a fan. You can like the music, you can love it. You can want to make 3 babies with it, but you are never a fan. So let's say you're doing everything right and you're sending out emails on the right day, but you're still not getting any responses. I know it can be very frustrating, but don't worry about it because we've got the best word to ever grace your vocabulary on your side. Spec, short for speculation. The best thing ever. Welcome to my career starter. Spec basically means that initially you are not going to charge your client anything for the photo shoot. Nothing, nada, zip. In the end, hopefully your client will end up liking the images and purchasing them off of you. The downside being that sometimes, more than often, you are left with empty pockets. But there's so many positive aspects to it. For starters, shooting spec is 100 times better than shooting for free. You're not giving the client anything for free, nor are you charging. Thus, you are not setting a value for your images. If you were to try and charge someone from the start, it would probably be a small amount of money because you don't have much of a portfolio and they are not a returning client. If you start charging low, you will get valued as a low photographer and most likely get stuck in that bracket and left behind.
Dude, I told you we shouldn't have done that shoot for donuts.
But those bear claws were good.
Some additional pros to shooting spec are that you also build your portfolio. Just because your client doesn't use the image doesn't mean you can't. In addition, you gain a lot of contacts. You work with tour managers, you work with the band, you work with their publicists, all just to get a photo shoot. So you can form those relations and continue to build them even if they don't use your images.
I don't know what else could be bad about that. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds pretty sweet.
Yes, there are some more cons to it as well. If you're not getting paid for the images, that can be rough because you don't have any income. In addition, the band can decide not to show up because, they're not paying for the shoot, so they're not really losing anything. You think that would be an incentive for them to come because it's free, but that's not always the case.
Okay, no, don't worry about it. It's all good. We'll just chill till you get here, whenever that is. All right, bye.
So So let's say everything's going great, you're doing shoots on spec and you're shooting the images, but none of the labels are buying them. That's okay. But, you want to get your images out there. So what I usually do is I provide a low-res image to the label at no cost. And, this sort of serves as a tease to them so they could be like, oh, we actually do really like that image. Let's buy it off of them. In addition, they might take that low-res image and, throw it online or throw it on their MySpace or Facebook or something, and then kids will take it and throw it on their Tumblr or their Twitter, and it'll spread around the internet, spread your name, and help you get more work in, help bring more people your way. Here are a few examples of places mine ended up. Keep in mind, when I started doing this, I did provide high res because I didn't realize how the industry really worked yet. So some of my examples are in print. The Day to Remember shoot I just mentioned was spec, and I did another one for them about 8 months afterwards that image was taken. I still wasn't making any money off of them, but I was keeping them as a client and continuing to work with them as a relationship grew. For the most part, photography among smaller bands and indie labels is looked at as almost a free media. You see, there are so many people out there shooting the same images that these labels don't really need to pay anybody. They just need to get these images from people and use them. So what does that mean you have to do? That means that you have some convincing to do. And you need to convince these labels and these bands that what you have is something that they need. You can do that by always putting in 200%, even on a bad day, and making something out of nothing. My best example of making something out of nothing is a shoot I did with a band a few years back. Their name is Our Last Night. They were a smaller band on Epitaph's roster, so the budget wasn't anything more than a couple $100. However, I was given a full day to work with them, and they were young guys, so I could get a little crazy with it. And I did. The image you are seeing right now is what my studio looked like halfway through our photo shoot. For the most part, when you're starting off, you're probably going to get pretty low budgets, which is okay. Just as long as you take those low budgets, reinvest them into the shoot, and make the shoot something bigger and better. This way, the labels are going to look at the shoot, say, wow, those are really good images, and hopefully from there on out, you'll start getting bigger and bigger budgets. If you get a decent budget for a photo shoot, don't just pocket the money and take a picture of the band on a railroad track. Make something happen.
Aw, dude, come on. You're ruining the whole scene. Where'd all the money go? Well, yes, we would like that supersized.
Let's get some ice cream.
Snacks.
Oh yeah, living the big life.
That's just being lazy, and it's never really going to lead to bigger and better shoots. What you need to do is take your budget and reinvest it into the photo shoot. Go out, get a nice studio, buy some kick-ass outfits, do something to really make your shots stand out. I'm not saying be a big spender, spend your money wisely, but at the same time, maybe invest something that you can afford to spend a lot of, your time. Just because you only get an hour with the band doesn't mean you can't spend 2 days or so getting ready for the shoot to really make these images stand out. In preparation for the shoot, I looked around Madison, Wisconsin for a location to photograph the guys at. My options were a barn, a garage, and a studio. Due to the fact it was in the winter and 2 of the locations were not heated, I went with the studio. I spent the entire shoot budget on the 2-day studio rental and went out of pocket for the supplies used in this shoot. I gathered them about a week ahead of time and reserved the whole first day I had in the studio just for building the set. In order to save money, I had my dad help me out with building the set, as he is a construction worker, so it worked out pretty well. If I would have done this on my own, I would have definitely hurt myself. During the shoot itself, I had 3 of my assistants come and help me out. Everything is always easier when you're not doing it alone, even if it's just one other person. It makes all the difference. I had my best friend come help me clean the whole thing up that night. What a mess. Here are a few of the final images from the photo shoot. I like how the images turned out, but I wish I would have had better compositing skills at the time, so I could have thrown a more interesting background in behind them. Alright, let's backtrack a little bit here. Before you can get into actually working for a client, you have to figure out a few details. Who is your client? Is it a label? Is it a manager? Is it the band themselves? Or maybe it's a publication. Regardless, when you're shooting for your client, you are shooting for them. You're not shooting for yourself, you're not shooting for your portfolio, you're shooting for your client. The more and more experience you start to get with this, the more and more you'll get better at knowing exactly what each client is going to want from you. For example, publications usually ask for conceptual images as they want to keep the readers interested and they only need to use the images once. Labels, on the other hand, are going to want some more generic images so that they can be easily used in various ways. Where are you going to be shooting? Is it at a studio, at the venue, or maybe you're on location? Regardless of where it is, the more control you have over it, the better. This means scout. If you want to shoot in a public area, go there a few days early at around the same time your shoot will be, and note how the sun affects the location. Is it windy? Is there any shade? Can you turn this one location into 3 different looks? There are so many different things to think about. When I go scouting, I usually bring a friend and a light so I can test everything out and really get an idea of how the images will look and where it would be best to shoot. Anything you do in preparation for a shoot will just make your life easier when it comes time to actually take some photographs. If you're going to be shooting at a venue right before a band plays, maybe give the venue a call and see what the restrictions are on shooting. Maybe you're allowed to shoot there, maybe you're not, or maybe they have a designated area for you to shoot at. Maybe they'll even let you come in early so you can scout the area out and find a good place to shoot at. Regardless of what you do, you should always plan ahead.
Dude, wake up. He's talking about planning ahead and you're asleep. It's horribly ironic.
What's so horrible about being ironic?
Also, what kind of band are you shooting? Is it indie, pop, country, or maybe metal? Just make sure your location makes sense for what type of band you are shooting. For example, don't stick your pop band in a torn down building or a death metal band in a garden.
Alright, you gotta... No, what are you... Come on, guys, you guys aren't giving me anything. You aren't into this at all. I hate everything about you in this fucking shoot.
Who puts my sick-ass metal band in front of a fucking playground?
I know that's pretty straightforward, but sometimes people get their minds stuck on the location that they want and they forget to take their client into consideration.
Man, this photography stuff is a lot of work.
Yeah, I know.
By this point, you're probably thinking, gosh darn it, this is a lot of work. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, working hard, hardly working.
Get some assistance. When I first started out, I had like a few friends in the area that would help me out. And now that I'm a little more established, I have a select group of photography lovers or other photographers in my area that help me out consistently. So if you need assistance, utilize social networking. Use your Twitter, use your Facebook. What I do is I post the dates on my blog, and then when I need help, I tweet about it and say, I have new tour dates or new shoot dates posted on my blog. Who can come help out? And within 24 hours, I have a slew of emails coming in, and I can pick from the people and find myself some assistance. People are willing to lend a hand in turn for the knowledge they can soak up while on the job. Make sure to keep your assistant or assistants up to par on how to act and dress on the set of a photo shoot. Your assistants are part of your image, so choose wisely. I give all of mine a quick rundown of guidelines, which I will cover with you during the next section of this DVD.
Piano, ready?
Why are you wearing that?
It's funny for the client to make him laugh.
No. You are also going to want to figure out what type of shoot you are doing. This is how I categorize my shoots just to keep stuff simple. On location is anything you are shooting on location. So a field, venue, parking lot, you get the idea. Then you have your studio shoots, which are basically anything that you shoot in a studio or against the backdrop. Lastly, you have your concept shoots, which are anything that involve concepts. This could be done in a studio or on location, but usually involves a good amount of props or planning out. One thing to keep in mind is that something might go wrong during your shoot. Actually, a lot of things might go wrong during your shoot. You could accidentally lock your gear in the car.
Dude, you locked all our stuff in the car. We have a shoot to go to.
You needed those keys?
You just blow my mind sometimes.
Thank you.
Your pocket wizards or your flashes can fail. Your gear might break.
Dude, come on! I told you to carry this and you let it fall over. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, man.
Power shorts out.
The battery's not working very good. Did we charge it all the way?
And sometimes the band doesn't do exactly what you want them to.
Awesome. We're gonna get right out here like this, be in the water, and you're gonna be just totally going nuts and splashing each other and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, alright? Dude, this is how we splash each other and jump around. Come on!
There's no way that I am getting in that water.
I'm not drunk enough to do this.
I'm way too drunk to do that, man.
I still hate you.
This means you have to be prepared in every way possible. This means bring extra cables, extra batteries, back up your phone numbers, and just about anything you think could go wrong will most likely go wrong at one point or another. This is one of the things you're going to get better at predicting and avoiding as you get more experience. But for now, the best you can do is be prepared for whatever it is that goes wrong. I had a handful of things go wrong in an All That Remains shoot about 2 years ago, and I paid the price by not getting any usable images from the shoot. I was told I would have 30 minutes with the band in a decent-sized back room at the House of Blues in Chicago. They told me to bring my own backdrop as you can't photograph any of the art on their walls without paying thousands of dollars. When I arrived at the shoot, I had to load all of my gear up 7 flights of stairs. I was allowed to shoot in a small opera box right above the stage. The box had 2 seats that were nailed into the floor and a wall dividing it in half. The band was 15 minutes late and they left about 5 minutes early, and my gear really wouldn't fit into the opera box we had to shoot in. Oh, and there was a band playing the whole time, so I could barely hear or speak to the band. It was not a good first-time client experience, and I should have switched my setup to a single speed light with an umbrella and grabbed some decent images of the guys, but I didn't go with it. I stuck to the concept I had my heart set on, even though it was built for a much larger room. If something gets switched up last minute on you like this, brace it, go with it. Don't yell or get angry with anyone, just go with the flow and change stuff up. I did the exact opposite, but I learned from my mistake. Remember when you work with a band to keep the atmosphere positive, and use your people skills. It's really important. Bands are just like normal people, only they live very drastic lives. And just like us, they have bad days too. So you never really want to give them a hard time or treat them any differently. Just treat them like people. Help them along the way, Don't tell them they're bad at posing, but at the same time, don't give them room for error. Use helpful words, be descriptive, and tell them what to do, but be nice. It's sort of a gray area, middle ground, but just work with them and you'll get through it. On this shoot with no effects, the guys basically brought a lot of props that I wasn't planning on using in the shoot, and I had never met them prior, but I knew they were a little crazy, so I wanted to build in their natural character, or the props they brought, into the shoot. So I let them use some of the props, but not all of them, so that this way, they'd still be stoked on doing the shoot, but at the same time I could still get good images. So at this shoot with Bring Me the Horizon, basically what happened was I was taking images for the guys, and they weren't really coming out how they had envisioned it. So Ollie, their lead singer, asked me for my camera, and I gave it to him, and he basically swapped positions with me. So I went in and stood in as the lead singer, and he took a few shots to show me what he was going for and what they were looking to try to get shot. Now, most people might take offense to this or get bummed out that somebody else is telling them what to shoot or how to shoot. But to me, I took it as him trying to work with me and trying to make the shot happen. We got the images done, and they ended up being used for all their new album press.
Well, I've talked enough about what I do, so now in this next section you can see me in action, and then we will jump into post-processing. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Come on down to Woody's Barbecue for all you can eat ribs. Buttermilk.
Quit sitting on the remote, man.